The door to the corner office opened without a knock, and Julia Hart stepped in exactly 3 minutes late. I had been sitting there, palms pressed flat against my thighs to stop them shaking, when her eyes found mine. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She simply looked, slowly, deliberately, from my polished black pumps up the length of my legs, across the modest navy dress I'd chosen because it screamed competence, past the single strand of pearls my mother had pressed into my hand the night before I left Ohio, and finally settled on my face. The room became airless. My heart slammed once, twice, then lodged somewhere beneath my collarbone. I had rehearsed answers for every possible question about my marketing degree, my internships, my ambition. I had not rehearsed what to do when the CEO of Apex Innovations stared at me like she already knew every secret I had ever tried to bury. "Josephine Reyes," she said at last, voice low and measured, the way people speak when they're deciding whether to keep something or throw it away. She took the chair opposite me without breaking eye contact. "You're early." "I like being early," I answered, hating how small my voice sounded. "It gives me time to breathe." She tilted her head, the faintest curve touching her lips. "And do you need a lot of breathing room, Josephine?" I swallowed. "Sometimes." She leaned forward, elbows on the glass desk, fingers interlaced. "Tell me why you want to work here." I launched into the speech I'd practiced in the hotel mirror: growth opportunities, innovative culture, the chance to build something meaningful. Halfway through, I realized she wasn't listening to the words. She was watching my mouth move, the way my hands gestured, the nervous flutter at the base of my throat. When I finished, silence stretched so long I thought I had lost her. Then she said, "You're hired." I blinked. "I what?" "Start Monday. 8 sharp. Don't be late." She stood, extended her hand. Her grip was firm, warm, lingering 1 second longer than professional courtesy required. "Welcome to Apex." I walked out of that building floating and terrified, the echo of her gaze still burning beneath my skin. By the time I reached the subway platform, I understood something irreversible had begun. Monday arrived too quickly. The open-plan floor hummed with energy. Coders hunched over laptops, designers arguing color palettes, the constant soft ping of Slack notifications. My desk was on the 15th floor, near the windows that overlooked Midtown Manhattan. Julia's office sat at the far end, glass walls frosted for privacy but not enough to hide the silhouette of her pacing while on calls. She didn't speak to me directly for 3 days. I threw myself into onboarding, learning the brand guidelines, shadowing campaign meetings, trying to pretend the memory of that stare didn't replay every time I closed my eyes. On Thursday afternoon she appeared beside my desk without warning. "Walk with me," she said. I followed her to the elevator down to the lobby out onto 42nd Street. Rush hour was beginning. The air smelled of hot asphalt and pretzels. She walked fast, hands in her pockets. "You're good," she said finally. "Better than good. The pitch deck you revised yesterday, clean, sharp, persuasive. I liked it." "Thank you." She stopped at the crosswalk, turned to face me. "But you're holding back." I felt heat crawl up my neck. "I'm trying to do the job well." "That's not what I mean." Her eyes narrowed. "You're careful. Too careful. Like you're afraid someone will see the real version of you." My pulse spiked. "Maybe I am." She studied me another long moment, then nodded once. "Good. Keep that fear. It'll keep you sharp. But don't let it choke you." We walked back in silence. When the elevator doors closed, trapping us alone, she spoke again, quieter. "I don't usually hire people I can't stop thinking about." I stared at the floor numbers ticking upward. "Then why did you?" "Because I'm tired of playing safe." The doors opened on 15. She stepped out first, didn't look back. I stood frozen until they slid shut again. That night I lay awake in my tiny Brooklyn studio, replaying every word, every glance. I told myself it was admiration, professional respect. I told myself lies because the truth felt too dangerous. Weeks blurred into late nights at the office. Julia began pulling me into strategy sessions, asking my opinion in front of senior directors, giving me credit when campaigns succeeded. Colleagues noticed. Whispers started: favoritism, teacher's pet. I ignored them. I told myself I earned every opportunity. Then came the Chicago trip. We were pitching a major client, a Fortune 500 retailer. Julia insisted I present the creative deck. The night before the flight she texted me. First time she'd ever messaged outside work hours. Don't overthink it tomorrow. You've got this. I stared at the screen until it blurred. Thank you, I typed back. Then deleted it. Typed again. I won't let you down. Her reply came instantly. I know. The flight was short, turbulent. We sat side by side in first class. She worked on her laptop. I pretended to read emails. Halfway through she closed the screen, turned to me. Why marketing? She asked. I hesitated. Because I like telling stories. Making people feel something. She nodded slowly. And what story are you telling yourself right now? The question landed like a slap. I looked out the window at the clouds. That I belong here. You do, she said quietly. More than you know. The pitch went perfectly. The client signed on the spot. That evening after dinner with the team, Julia found me on the hotel rooftop bar overlooking Lake Michigan. I was alone, nursing a club soda, trying to steady the adrenaline still coursing through me. She slid onto the stool beside me. You were brilliant today. Thank you. She ordered scotch neat. Took a slow sip. Josephine. The way she said my name low, almost reverent, made my stomach twist. I've been trying to keep this professional, she continued. I've been failing. I turned to face her. What are we doing, Julia? She met my eyes. I don't know. But I can't stop. Silence stretched between us, heavy with everything unsaid. Then she reached out, brushed a strand of hair behind my ear. Her fingers lingered against my cheek. Tell me to stop. I didn't. She leaned in. The kiss was soft at first, tentative, then deeper, hungrier, tasting of scotch and relief and terror. When we pulled apart, both breathing hard, she whispered against my lips. This changes everything. I knew she was right. We flew back to New York the next morning in silence. Not the comfortable kind. The kind that presses against your ribs until breathing hurts. Julia sat by the window, staring out at nothing. I kept my hands folded in my lap, afraid to touch her, afraid not to. When the plane touched down at LaGuardia, she finally spoke. We need rules. I nodded. No one at work can know. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Okay. We take it slow. Okay. She looked at me then, eyes shadowed. And if either of us wants out, we say it. No guilt. No drama. The last word felt like irony. I swallowed. Agreed. We didn't speak again until we reached the office parking garage. She parked, killed the engine, turned to me. One more thing. I waited. I don't do casual. If we do this, we do it completely. No half measures. My throat tightened. I don't want half measures. She exhaled, almost a laugh. Then God help us both. The first month was exquisite torture. Stolen glances across conference tables. Her hand brushing mine when passing files. Late-night texts that started professional and ended with I miss the way you taste. We met outside the office. Dinners in quiet corners of Brooklyn, walks along the Hudson at dusk, her apartment on the Upper West Side when her assistant was gone for the day. Every touch felt stolen, every kiss a risk. I learned her in fragments. The way she took her coffee black but kept almond milk in the fridge because her sister was vegan. The scar on her left knee from a childhood bike accident. The quiet fury she hid behind calm when board members questioned her decisions. The way her voice cracked when she talked about her mother, who still asked every Christmas if she'd met a nice man yet. She learned me too. The way I chewed my lip when anxious. How I quoted my mother's proverbs without realizing. The panic attacks that came when I thought too hard about what my family would say if they knew. The guilt that lived beneath my ribs because I loved them and I loved her, and those two loves could not coexist. We never said the word love. Not yet. But it was there, pressing against every boundary we'd drawn. Then my mother called. Josie, honey, your cousin Maria's wedding is in 3 weeks. You're coming home, right? I stood in my kitchenette, staring at the half-finished dinner on the counter. I have work. Work can wait. Family doesn't. I closed my eyes. Mom, don't make excuses. Your father already booked your flight. Non-refundable. Silence on the line. Josephine Marie Reyes, she said softer now. What's going on with you? Nothing, I lied. Just busy. You sound different. Distant. I'm fine. She sighed. We miss you. And we're proud of you. But don't forget where you come from. I hung up and sank to the floor, knees to chest. Julia found me like that an hour later when she used her spare key. She didn't ask questions. She simply sat beside me, back against the cabinets, shoulder touching mine. I have to go home, I whispered. She nodded slowly. For how long? 3 weeks. Maybe more. She exhaled through her nose. Will you tell them? I laughed, bitter. Tell them what? That I'm in love with my boss? That I'm gay? That I've been lying to them since college? She flinched at the word love but didn't correct me. You don't have to tell them everything, she said. Just enough to breathe. I don't know how. She turned, cupped my face. You will. When you're ready. I searched her eyes. And you? When will you be ready? Her thumb traced my cheekbone. I'm working on it. But she wasn't. Not really. The night before I left for Ohio, we fought for the first time. I was packing. She sat on the edge of my bed, watching. You could come with me, I said, half joking. She didn't laugh. You know I can't. Why not? Because the board is watching. Because my father sits on the advisory council. Because if anyone finds out, they'll what? Fire you? You're the CEO. It's not that simple. I zipped the suitcase too hard. It never is with you. She stood. What's that supposed to mean? It means you want me, but only in the dark. Only when no one's looking. That's not fair. Isn't it? I faced her. You kiss me like I'm oxygen. Then pretend we're just colleagues the next day. You say you want all of me, but you won't even hold my hand in public. Her jaw tightened. I'm protecting us. You're protecting yourself. Silence stretched taut. I'm scared, she admitted finally, voice raw. I've built everything I have. If I lose it, you won't lose me. You don't know that. I stepped closer. I do. But maybe you don't want to believe it. She looked away. Go home, Josephine. See your family. Figure out what you want. I already know what I want. Do you? I didn't answer. I couldn't. The flight to Columbus was the longest 2 hours of my life. My parents met me at baggage claim. Mom hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe. Dad kissed the top of my head like I was still 12. They drove me home in the same minivan they'd had since high school. Same rosary hanging from the rearview mirror. Dinner was loud, warm, familiar. My brothers teased me about city life. My sister asked about boys. I smiled, deflected, felt the lie grow heavier with every bite. That night I lay in my childhood bed, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars still stuck to the ceiling. My phone buzzed. Julia. Landed safe? Me, yes. Julia, good. Me, I miss you. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Julia, I miss you more. I set the phone down and cried into my pillow so no one would hear. The first week home passed in a haze of family obligations, church on Sunday, barbecue on Monday, Maria's bridal shower on Tuesday. Everyone asked the same questions. Are you dating anyone? When are you getting married? Have you met a nice Catholic boy yet? I laughed it off, said I was focused on my career. They nodded, proud, but I saw the worry in my mother's eyes. On Wednesday I escaped to the public library downtown. The one with the creaky wooden floors and the smell of old books. I sat in the corner corral, opened my laptop, pretended to work. Really, I scrolled through photos of Julia. Candid shots I'd taken when she wasn't looking. Her laughing at something on her phone. Her profile against the city skyline. Her hand resting on mine beneath a restaurant table. I missed her so much it felt like missing a limb. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Josephine. Julia's voice. My heart lurched. Where are you calling from? Burner phone. I didn't want it traced. I laughed despite myself. Paranoid much? Realistic. Silence. I needed to hear your voice, she said. I needed to hear yours too. Another pause. How's home? Like stepping backward in time. And I hate it. I hate pretending. Then stop. It's not that easy. It could be. I pressed my forehead to the cool wood of the desk. Julia, I can't just come out to my family over pot roast. They'll think I'm broken. They'll pray for me. They'll cry. They'll blame themselves. They might surprise you. They won't. She exhaled. I wish I could be there. I wish you were too. I could fly out. Just for a day. No one has to know. The offer hung between us, tempting, impossible. You'd risk that. For you? Yes. I closed my eyes. Don't. Not yet. Okay. We talked for another hour, small things, stupid things, the way her assistant had spilled coffee on the quarterly report, the way my nephew had drawn me a picture of a dragon. Normal things. Safe things. When we hung up, the library felt colder. Friday night was Maria's rehearsal dinner. I wore the dress Mom picked. Modest, floral, perfect for pictures. I smiled for photos, toasted the couple, danced with my cousins. Then my phone vibrated in my clutch. Julia, look up. I glanced toward the entrance. She stood there in a simple black dress, hair pulled back, looking like she'd stepped out of a magazine. My breath caught. She didn't approach. Just watched me from across the room, eyes steady. I excused myself from the table, walked toward the hallway, heart pounding. She followed at a distance. We met in the empty corridor near the restrooms. What are you doing here? I whispered. I couldn't stay away. Julia. She stepped closer. I needed to see you. Just see you. I looked down the hall, terrified someone would turn the corner. This is insane. I know. I grabbed her hand, pulled her into an alcove behind a potted palm. The moment we were hidden, she kissed me hard, desperate, like she'd been starving. When we broke apart, I was trembling. You have to leave, I said. I will. In a minute. Julia. I love you. The words landed like a punch. I stared at her. I love you, she repeated, quieter. And I'm tired of hiding it. Tears burned my eyes. Then stop. I'm trying. Try harder. She nodded. Kissed my forehead. Then she was gone, slipping out the side door like she'd never been there. I returned to the party, face flushed, hands shaking. Mom noticed. You okay, Mija? Fine, I lied. Just hot. She didn't believe me, but she let it go. The next day, Maria's wedding. I stood at the altar as bridesmaid, bouquet trembling in my grip. When the vows started, I looked out at the pews and saw my mother watching me. Not Maria. Me. Her eyes were wet, searching. After the ceremony, during photos, she pulled me aside. Josephine, talk to me. I can't. Please. I looked at her, really looked. The lines around her eyes deeper than I remembered. The worry etched permanent now. I'm in love, I said. Her face softened. With who? I swallowed. A woman. Silence. Then she reached up, touched my cheek. I've known for a long time. I blinked. What? You think a mother doesn't see? She smiled sadly. I prayed you'd find a different path. But love is love. And I love you more than I fear anything else. Tears spilled over. She pulled me into her arms. I'm scared, I whispered. I know. But you're not alone. That night I called Julia. I told her. Silence on the line. She said she loves me anyway. Julia exhaled shakily. Thank God. I want to come home. Come home. I flew back to New York the next morning. When I walked into her apartment, she was waiting. No words. Just arms around me, holding so tight I thought my ribs would crack. We didn't leave the bed for 2 days. The first crack appeared quietly. Monday morning back at Apex, Julia called me into her office. She closed the door, leaned against her desk. We need to talk about going public. I nodded. Okay. I spoke to legal. If we disclose the relationship, I have to recuse myself from your performance reviews. There'll be questions. Gossip. Maybe an investigation. I felt cold. And the board already thinks I'm too aggressive. Too young. Too female. If they find out I'm sleeping with a junior employee. You're not sleeping with a junior employee. You're in love with me. She winced. I know. But optics matter. I crossed my arms. So what are you saying? I'm saying we wait. Until you're promoted. Until the next fiscal year. Until it's convenient. Her jaw tightened. Until it's safe. I laughed once sharp. Safe for who? For both of us. I stepped closer. I just told my mother. I faced the hardest conversation of my life. And you're asking me to keep hiding? I'm asking you to be patient. I've been patient for months. Josephine. No, I shook my head. I'm done being patient. She stared at me. What does that mean? It means if you can't stand beside me in the light, I won't stay in the dark. Silence. Then she said, I need time. You've had time. I'm not ready. I felt something break inside. Then I am. I walked out. For the next week we existed in the same building like strangers. Meetings were clipped. Emails were formal. Colleagues noticed the chill but didn't dare ask. I threw myself into work, new campaign launches, late nights, anything to keep moving. But every time I saw her through the glass walls, my chest ached. Then came the gala. Apex's annual charity event at the Met. Black tie. Cameras. Donors. Board members. Julia was expected to give a speech. I wore emerald green silk, hair swept up, trying to feel powerful. She wore midnight blue velvet, looking like royalty. We avoided each other all night. Until the dance floor opened. She found me near the bar. Dance with me, she said. Here? In front of everyone. Yes. My pulse roared. You sure? She held out her hand. I'm sure. I took it. We moved to the center of the floor. Heads turned. Whispers started. She pulled me close, waist, shoulder, cheek to cheek. The music was slow, aching. I'm sorry, she whispered. I know. I was scared. I know. I love you. I closed my eyes. I love you too. When the song ended, she didn't let go. Instead, she turned to the room, still holding my hand. Everyone, she said clearly, I'd like to introduce you to my partner, Josephine Reyes. A hush fell. Then applause, tentative at first, then louder. Someone whistled. A board member nodded slowly. Julia looked at me. Tears in her eyes. I'm done hiding. I kissed her. Right there in front of the entire company, the press, the world. Felt like freedom. But freedom has teeth. The next morning headlines appeared. Apex CEO comes out in bold public declaration. Some praised her courage. Others called it a PR stunt. A few used uglier words. The board called an emergency meeting. They didn't fire her. They couldn't, her numbers were too good. But they tightened oversight. Increased scrutiny. Made it clear she was on thin ice. She took it in stride. Held my hand in the hallways. Kissed me goodbye in the lobby. I thought we'd won. Then my father called. Josephine, we saw the news. His voice was flat. Dad. Is it true? Yes. Silence so long I thought the call dropped. Then he said, your mother cried all night. She thinks she failed you. My stomach dropped. She didn't. She thinks she did. And I think she's right. Dad. Don't come home for Christmas. Not this year. He hung up. I sat on the floor of my office sobbing. Julia found me there. She didn't speak. Just held me until the shaking stopped. They'll come around, she said. I didn't believe her. Weeks passed. The media frenzy died down. Work normalized. We moved in together. Her apartment became ours. We built routines. Coffee in the morning, takeout at night. Quiet Sundays reading side by side. But the damage lingered. My mother sent one text. I still love you. But I need time. My father sent nothing. I carried the silence like a bruise. Then came the final blow. A whistleblower, someone from legal, leaked internal emails. Nothing damning about us, but enough to suggest favoritism in my promotions. The board used it as leverage. They offered Julia a choice. Step down as CEO or cut ties with me professionally. She chose neither. She resigned. Publicly. Gracefully. With a statement praising the company and announcing she was pursuing new ventures. Privately, she cried in my arms for the first time. I lost everything, she whispered. No, I said. You kept me. She looked up, eyes red. Was it worth it? I didn't answer. I didn't know. 6 months later we lived in a small house upstate. Nothing fancy, just quiet. Julia consulted for startups. I freelanced. We gardened on weekends, cooked together, made love slowly like we had all the time in the world. But the quiet wasn't peaceful. It was haunted. She woke at night sometimes, staring at the ceiling. I pretended not to notice. I checked my parents' Facebook obsessively. Saw photos of my sister's new baby, my brother's promotion. No tags for me. No messages. One afternoon Julia came home with a bottle of wine and news. I've been offered a position. CEO of a smaller firm in Seattle. They want me to start in January. I froze. Seattle. She nodded. It's a fresh start. No baggage. Good salary. Equity. I looked at the ring on my finger. The one she'd given me 3 months earlier, simple platinum band, no diamond. We'd promised forever that night. And us? I asked. She sat beside me. I want you to come. I searched her face. But I won't ask you to leave your family behind. Not again. They already left me behind. They're still your blood. I stood, walked to the window. Outside, leaves were turning red. I chose you, I said. You chose love. Not exile. I turned. What are you saying? I'm saying I'll go alone if that's what you need. My chest cracked open. You'd leave me. No. I'd give you space to heal. To decide if you can forgive me for costing you your family. Tears burned. You didn't cost me anything. They chose fear. Maybe. But I was the catalyst. I crossed the room, knelt in front of her. I don't want space. I want you. She cupped my face. And I want you whole. Not fractured. We stayed like that a long time. The next morning I booked a flight to Ohio. Alone. I didn't tell her until the ticket was confirmed. She drove me to the airport in silence. At security she hugged me so hard I felt her heartbeat. Call me when you land, she said. I will. And Josephine? Yes. If they can't accept us, they don't deserve you. I nodded, kissed her, walked away. My mother opened the door. She looked older, smaller. Josie. Mom. She stepped aside. I walked in. Dad was in the living room. He didn't stand. I sat across from him. I'm not here to argue, I said. I'm here to say I love you. Both of you. And I love Julia. That's not changing. Silence. Then Mom spoke. We watched the video. The gala. You looked happy. I was. Dad finally looked at me. I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will. I know. But your mother's right. You looked happy. He stood. Walked over. Put his hand on my shoulder. I'm sorry I shut you out. Tears fell. I'm sorry I lied for so long. Mom joined us. We cried together, the ugly, wrenching kind. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was a door cracked open. I stayed 4 days. We talked. We argued. We ate Mom's arroz con pollo. We looked at old photos. We didn't fix everything. But we started. When I flew back to New York, Julia met me at the gate. I ran into her arms. They're trying, I said. She held me tighter. That's enough for now. We drove home. That night we sat on the porch, wrapped in a blanket, watching stars. I'm not taking the Seattle job, she said. Why not? Because my home is wherever you are. I leaned my head on her shoulder. Was it worth it? She asked softly. I thought of the stare that started everything. The secrets. The losses. The small, hard-won victories. I thought of love, not the easy kind, but the kind that costs something. I don't know, I answered honestly. Then I asked the question that still haunts me. Was it worth destroying the life we had to build the one we wanted?